We continue to track the latest on the deadly midair collision in Washington, D.C. As details begin to come into focus, we know 67 people are presumed dead after an American Airlines jet collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. Both aircrafts ended up in the Potomac River. NBC's Jay Gray joins us live in D.C. Jay, we appreciate you being with us. You know, it's still very early in what will be a long investigation, but what can you tell us right now?
Yeah, and let's start, Trem, with the idea that the NTSB and investigators have told us this evening they have not at this point found the black boxes, the data recorders, or the cockpit voice recorders from either of the aircraft. Now, they're not concerned that they won't find those. In fact, they think in the next day or two they should find those recorders and be able to analyze those. That's going to give them some key information here. They're also going to review, as a part of this investigation, the transcripts and any recordings from inside the control tower to see exactly what was going on before and during the crash here. They've looked at the weather. They will continue to do that, but don't believe that that was an issue. They're also, though, Trem, looking at the airspace around Reagan National. It is a very busy airspace, and so they're going to look and see if that may have played a factor with all the aircraft that were in the sky at the time. Understand that the main runway here at Reagan is the busiest in the country, 800 takeoff and landings every day here. So that's another key aspect of this investigation. And like you said, it's only just beginning here.
Yeah, and you know, again, where you're at, it's a very unique situation there because the military, they're used to being in and out of that area, transporting dignities, what have you.
Yes.
Jay, you mentioned the black box data recorders, the cockpit voice recordings, the air traffic control communications. You know, something like this, people want answers now, immediately. But do you have any idea what kind of time frame this could look like?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like a year, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get an initial report in 30 days, but all that may say is that we know two aircraft collided in midair, and we're continuing to investigate how and why this happened. So I would not be surprised. We've seen a lot of these investigations stretch even longer than a year, and they've got a lot of details to look at here. And you talked about the chopper and the regional jet. They were both, according to the NTSB, in their prescribed flight paths. So how could they be in the areas that they were supposed to be and collide here? That's a big part of the equation. And so that's something they're going to look very closely at as well.
You know, there's been mention about the victims. We know that a group of figure skaters and their coaches and family, they were aboard that flight. It truly is heartbreaking for all the families involved. Have you heard anything about the other victims?
Yeah, so difficult. And we have heard, or at least seen, some reports of the families of the pilots of the regional jet who have come out and said that they are just heartbroken, as you would expect, obviously, and that they're just struggling with what's happened here. We know that a lot of the families of the victims are currently on their way to the crash site, and so that's why we haven't had a lot of detail on who was on board that flight. And we haven't heard yet from the Army about the three servicemen who were inside that chopper as well. We expect to learn more over the next 24, 48 hours. Again, we have a lot of family members who are making their way here. And the NTSB said today, as they were briefing the media for the first time since this crash, that they normally do not do that until they've talked with the family of the victims first, but that they were widely dispersed and it was going to take some time to get here, and they wanted to be as transparent as they could.
Absolutely. Again, it hasn't even been 24 hours since the collision. All right, Jay, we certainly appreciate your time and bringing us the very latest. Thank you.